Welcome to German black metal review. This time we have a band called Vargsheim with the fifth album in the Tower of Ivory. If I'm not mistaken, Vargsheim roughly means wolf's home, or something in that direction nonetheless. This band, despite of 5 albums and all that stuff, isn't exactly the most famous out there. I mean, one could imagine that once you have something like 5 albums out, there would be some level of success, but based on numbers on social media, Vargsheim hasn't really gotten the success that is, not succession, what you could imagine. But I don't know, maybe there are reasons to that. This fifth album is an interesting case because it's labeled as black metal and black and roll. Well, that is according to Metal Archives labeling the band. And in a certain ways, this black and roll kind of sticks and fits it. The thing here is, this is from the softer side of black metal. When we are talking about extreme metal, this needs to be put into context, and here it means it's actually quite slow tempo here and there. And also there are melodies and parts where this makes it sound rather easy listening. However, there are also parts where it's far from being exactly mainstreamish metal. That is, it still is certain kind of extreme metal, even if not from the extreme end of it. Now, this band has been here for around 17 years, and during those times, indeed, they have done 5 albums and then some smaller releases. And this one is indeed a curious case. First of all, it features these really slow tempo parts where it's almost like a doomy. Now, that combined with rather fuzzy sounding, kind of a warm feeling to it, makes this album indeed quite non-extreme. However, there are parts where things go more fast tempo and there is aggression, and on top of that, very extreme vocals in a way. And this extremity is not done with, effects such as, adding distortion or a lot of reverb to it, but more like just having the kind of raspy vocals, which are almost like a nod towards to death metal side of things, but not exactly growly. It's almost like they're a little bit grunting with the raspiness, and that creates an interesting layer on the vocals, which I think are good and not your typical ones. However, these are probably not the type of vocals that everybody is keen to love. I mean, especially people who are more into shriekier and screamier style of vocals, where everything, especially the pronunciation, is not that strict. But I don't know, in my opinion, they are good, and they definitely add a layer of personality on the album. Now, throughout the 8 songs, which are not exactly short and sweet, the band goes from more energetic parts which are faster but not super fast to parts where everything is very mid-tempo or even slow. And this creates a rather black and roll feeling compared to, or actually combined with rather doomier parts. So it's almost like this band is fluctuating throughout the album, which then again is a good thing. I mean, it's not carved on one and the same rock, but rather has a certain kind of a diversity, which theoretically speaking is a good thing. However, what this band, in my opinion, fails to do is to really nail on it. That is, they're unable to take the benefit of this diversity and use it for the good things with the album and songwriting. My point here is there are lots of parts where it almost feels like this is gonna fly, this is gonna make some waves, this is gonna have an impact. But the more you are waiting for it, the more you disappointed are, because a lot of these riffs are just filling the gaps, and there are no high points, the kind of a momentum which is needed to make those impactful moments, kind of types that kind of drill into your brain. Not necessarily so much even catchiness. I mean, it does help if you have that, but some kind of good stuff, which is not that much present here. I mean, I get what the band is trying to do here, and to a certain degree they do that. quite well. But, and there is a big but, the thing here is, it's not that meaningful. None of these melodies are, or even guitar leads are that good. They're kind of like in progress. They're in works, so to say. But the whole album, the more and more I was listening to it, feels like a little bit lukewarmish in the sense. So while there is a black and roll, it's not the kind of a, yeah, this gets me banging. More like it leaves me hanging. So it's not exactly your next raid, or it's not one of those raw end of black metal bands which are just ripping the muscle out of your bones. It's more like giving you a pat on the back and saying, okay, this is what we do. How about it? And then you're like, yeah, I mean, you're not exactly extreme. Why are you doing extreme metal? I'm not gonna say this is not for everybody. I mean, there's theoretically speaking, this album could have been making waves. And I guess there are a lot of people who actually like this kind of a lighter end of things, especially when it comes to black metal. So when you are maybe more not so accustomed to raw end of black metal or the more extreme kind, this is a place where Vargsheim steps in and is like, hello, we're gonna deliver you what you were expecting. But if you went the dark music, the violent kind of music, the real sinister, go back to your dungeons kind of stuff, this is not it. So kind of a in-betweener in a sense. Not exactly lightweight enough to, serve the people who are looking for non-extreme metal, and not exactly extreme to, cater to the needs of the more extreme fan base. With these words being said, you decide for yourself and check out the samples provided. Links are in the description box, so click and listen if you feel like this is your cup of tea. This is Rauta. Take care. See you soon. Bye bye.